Namaste everyone. Welcome to another 45-minute sequence, and on the mat this week is Raphael. Raphael, a really strong yogi with a background in parkour. So very familiar with beautiful transitions and strong movements. We are definitely going to challenge his parkour skills here today in our binding and twisting sequence. So the theme of bind and twist is going to incorporate poses from last week's basic level class, whereby we explored Ardha Matsyendrasana, or the Lord of the Fish pose. In essential class, we explored variations of Marichiasana, Marichi C, Marichi D. And lastly, in intermediate class, the Revolved Bird of Paradise. Feel free then in this sequence to incorporate a small grounding practice at the start and conclude with a beautiful Shavasana on the end, and that can take you to a 60-minute practice. So are we ready to begin?
Yes, let's do it.
Preparing ourselves for a shoulder stretch. So in this stretch, you will have the hands, place them on the sides of the body and bring the elbows forwards towards each other in front of you. And then having the elbows hook onto the inside of your knees. Good. In this way, as you slowly squeeze or hug your knees in towards each other, you are starting to create a stretching of your shoulders. And this is called the chicken wing stretch, because you make your shoulders and arms look like the wings of a chicken. Regulating your breath. Every inhale an opportunity to take more air into the body. Every exhale is active. You are drawing the navel inwards to squeeze the air out. Every inhale, expansion of the rib cage in 4 directions. Every exhale, as if navel trying to kiss your spine, awakening your bandhas, your gentle, firm engagement in the lower belly and pelvic floor. And that'll do. So slowly release, take your time, no rush. And once the arms feel ready, bring them on the mat and rise up to a tabletop pose, a hands and knees position. With your palms flat, shoulder width distance, stacked underneath your shoulders, and your knees stacked underneath your hips. Begin from a straight spine to work with, moving with your breath. So inhale, start to lift your chin up as you lift your tailbone, arching your body. Good. Exhale, drop the chin down to the chest and bring the tailbone down between your legs. With the breath, arch again. Take your time, no rush, to understand what it means for the breath to initiate each and every movement. As you breathe, so we move. Exhale. Good. Pushing the heart away from the mat, broadness across your shoulders. With the breath, inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, rounding. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Last one. Inhale with your deepest, longest breath. Good. Exhale, neutral spine position, working now with the spine straight. Going now into a series of strong twists. Inhale, bring the right hand to the hip and lift the right shoulder, twisting to the right with the right hand to the hip. Good. Exhale, both arms down, palms flat on the mat. Inhale, left hand to the hip, left shoulder up. Beautiful. Exhale, left arm to the mat, both palms flat. Next, inhale, right hand to the hip, right shoulder lift, and if it feels nice, start to extend the right arm upwards and try maintaining length in both sides of the body. Exhale, both hands down, both palms flat. Good. And with the breath, inhale, left hand to hip, left shoulder up. And if it feels nice, expanding the left arm. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat. Inhale. Good. This time on the exhale, wrap the right arm underneath the body and extend to the left until the right shoulder is resting on the mat. Good. Staying in the twist. And then can you start to slowly extend your left leg straight. Beautiful. And with your straight left leg, now push from your strong left palm to extend the right arm upwards, opening to the right again. Beautiful. Next inhale, start to gently see if you can lift your left foot with the leg straight off the mat and find the kneeling variation of a revolved half moon balancing pose. Good. Hug those legs inwards towards each other. And again, make sure that you are creating length in both sides of the body. And stay with your breath. We hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both hands down, both knees down. Good. Inhale, lift the left arm up, opposite side. Exhale, wrap the arm under and go as far to the right as you can. Allow that left shoulder to rest on the mat. Keep the right hand exactly where it is. Beautiful. And you are going to extend out the right leg. Keep the toes on the mat for now. And now as you unwrap the left arm, inhale, again twisting and opening to the left with a strong right palm foundation. And with the next inhalation, even the back leg starts to float upwards. Good. Maintain your inner leg engagement for the stability of your hips. Maintain the length in both sides of the body for the openness of your spine. Connecting with the Ujjayi breath. And let's release. Exhale, both hands down, both knees down. Good. Curl the toes under the feet. Lift your knees off the mat. Let's bring ourselves to our first downward facing dog position, which is Ardha Matsyendrasana. In here, paddling out the feet, left and right heels and toes with one knee bent and the opposite leg straight with a gentle switch, and switch to create openness in the hamstrings. Feel free to sway the hip side to side like a dog wagging the tail, or one shoulder towards the mat at a time, or whatever is your practice to help you awaken and prep your body. Good. And coming up on tiptoes, inhale hip high, and bringing the heels down to the mat for your perfect down dog position. Taking a few breaths here. Beautiful. Coming up on tiptoes, inhale. Bringing knees to chest, looking forwards, exhale. Next, inhale, left foot, right foot, stepping to the front of the mat in a halfway lift, looking up with the length in your body. Next, exhale, forward bending, come down, belly towards thigh, chest towards knee, chin towards chin. Good. Rising up to standing position, inhale, give the arms a big, beautiful stretching upwards, open chest and open shoulders. Exhale again, bring the hands down to a forward bend. Working with the breath, inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale, step your left foot back, left knee down for a low lunge pose. Low lunge pose. Inhale, arms up. Good. Mindfully now on the exhale, arms extend like a warrior two and twisting towards your right. Find your twist. And as actively as you can, take the next few breaths here, finding expansion feeling across the front of your shoulders. And mindful again to find length in both sides of your body. Beautiful. Then, like a reverse warrior, can you lengthen the left arm up and over to the right on the inhale? And then bringing both hands down to the mat in front of you, exhale. Stepping the back foot forwards to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Good. Inhale all the way upwards, using your strong back muscles. And exhale back down to the mat, forward bending. Taking a halfway lift, inhale, looking up with the length in the body. And now stepping the right foot back on the exhale, right knee down gently. Rising up for a low lunge pose on the inhale. And twisting to the left with the arms extending on the exhale. Stay broad across your shoulders. Good. Create the healthy lengthening of both sides of your body. And finally the active engagement of your twisting muscles. Good. When you're ready, reversing this, inhale. And bringing both hands down to the mat in front of you, exhale. Stepping the back foot forwards to the front in a halfway lift, inhale. And doing a forward bend, exhale, come down deep into the stretching of your legs. With your strong back muscles, lift yourself up to standing. Inhale, give ourselves a big, beautiful breath as we extend. And then again back to the mat, forward bending, exhale. Good, so with the halfway lift, inhale. And stepping the left foot back, exhale, but keep your left leg straight this time for a high lunge. Inhale with a strong front leg. Lift, connected with your breathing. Good. Now with the twist, this time twist with your left elbow touching your right knee. Place your hands together. They will be roughly over the right shoulder. Try with your next breath to lift the heart upwards until the thumbs touch the center of your chest. In this way, leveraging yourself deep into a twist but maintaining stability. Good. Very nice, because Raphael is rock solid and stable. He can even look upwards in this pose. If you feel you need more stability, you can gaze downwards. That'll do. Extending back upwards in a high lunge. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, both hands down, and the back foot steps to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, rising up to standing, give the arms a big, beautiful stretching upwards. Exhale, back to the mat again, forward bending. Inhale, halfway lift, nice long spine. Exhale, right foot back, left foot forwards this time for a high lunge pose. Arms up. Good. And carefully twisting to the left on the exhale with the elbow resting gently against the knee. And with the hands over the left shoulder, with the inhale, lifting the heart upwards towards your hands, maintaining length in both sides of the body, staying connected with your beautiful, beautiful ujjayi, creating stability by hugging inwards your legs, and even turning the gaze upwards if you feel you are comfortable and stable. Good. Very beautiful. So high lunge pose, again, inhale, arms up. And with the breath, exhale, come down, stepping the back foot forwards to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, we rise all the way upwards. And then back to the mat again. Exhale, come down. With the halfway lift, look forwards on the inhale. Now on the exhale, you will step your left foot halfway back for a pyramid pose, a hamstring stretch. Ground the left heel inwards towards the center line of the mat. Inhale as you halfway lift, square your hips actively. Pull the right hip back, left hip forwards. Exhale with length, let's come down. Belly towards thigh, chest towards knee, chin towards shin, creating the stretching of your right leg. Good. Beautiful. Your next pose is Parivrtta Svarga, the revolved variation of the triangle pose. Enter this pose with a halfway lift, inhale, and keep the squareness of the hip, right hand to the hip, lifting the right shoulder, exhaling to twist. Inhale to extend the right arm is an option if the right shoulder feels comfortable. There's an option to deepen your twist. Your left hand can be crossing over to rest on the right side of your front leg. Good. Mindful here to maintain once again the lengthening of both sides of the body. And when you're ready, exhale, release. Bring both hands down to the mat. And stepping the back foot forwards to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Beautiful. Rising up towards the ceiling. Inhale. And connecting with the breath. Exhale, come down to the mat. Again, halfway lift. Inhale. Now stepping right foot back. Exhale the right foot halfway. Good. With the hips squared. Inhale, look upwards. And exhale, we fold. Belly towards thigh. Chest towards knee. Chin towards shin. Good. Take a halfway lift. Inhale. Place your left hand to the hip and exhale, lifting the left shoulder, twisting to the left. Staying here or extending the arm up with the option of crossing the right hand foundation. Resting on the left side of the foot makes this more intense. We hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As we release both hands down to the mat, you step the back foot forwards to the front for a halfway lift. Inhale. Good. Forward bend. Exhale. Arms upwards. Inhale with length. Bringing the hands down to the mat. Exhale. Forward bending. Good. Halfway lift. Inhale. This time stepping both feet back. Exhale. Let's do our first Vinyasa. With the elbows bent, we come down. Chaturanga. This can be done with knees on the mat for less intensity. Inhaling to an upward facing dog, or take the option of a cobra. Exhale to downward dog with a straight spine. Beautiful. Now lift up your right leg for a 3-legged dog. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. You want the right knee touching your left elbow. Can we try? As you do so, rocking the body forwards and stacking the shoulders above the wrists. Again, let's lengthen back for 3-legged dog position. And exhale, send the right leg through to set the foot down between the hands for a high lunge pose. Inhale, rise up. Good. Exhale, arms come down. Right foot steps back. Plank pose position. You have the option here. Continue your vinyasas or just arrive at downward facing dog. Beautiful. From downward dog, left leg lifting, 3-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, explore that twist, bringing the knee to the opposite elbow. Staying strong in the shoulders and a firm palm foundation. Now take it back again. Inhale. Send that leg forwards to the front. Exhale. Setting the foot down for a high lunge pose. Inhale, rise up with a strong front leg. Good. Exhale, the hands come down, the feet step back. Plank pose to explore one vinyasa or just downward facing dog. Good. From downward facing dog, lifting up your right leg to 3-legged dog on the inhale. Good. With a tuck on the exhale, crossing the body, trying to touch the left elbow. And this time, can you try extending your leg without the foot touching the mat? Beautiful. Now move it back to 3-legged dog position. Inhale, rise up. Exhale with the tuck, move the leg forwards and setting it down on the mat in front of you for a high lunge pose. Inhale. Transitioning, warrior 2, turn to the left, arms extending, back heel grounding. Good. Our warrior 2 position today is with the variation of taking your right arm back behind the body. Slowly see how high you can bring that hand. If you wish, using the opposite arm to facilitate this. And now reaching that left arm up to see if the hands can clasp together behind the body. Those of us that are not able to clasp can then just take the option of either using a towel or strap to connect, or just extending that left arm. Now one movement to reverse this. Inhale, rock the body back. Good. On the exhale, just like what we did earlier from a seated position, exhale trying to bring your right elbow in front of your leg and then using a little bit of firmness of the leg to squeeze and hug that arm inwards. Good. Take a few breaths. Explore the stretching of your shoulders. Beautiful. And release this with a reverse warrior. Inhale, extending the arm upwards. And exhale, both hands down to the mat. Now take your right foot back for a three-legged dog on the inhale. And then doing that same position again. Exhale. Right knee, left elbow, right leg extend. You can set it down on the mat this time and start to work on lifting up your left arm to find your fallen triangle pose, which you can understand this to be a side plank variation. Good. So if you wish, take your option. You can stay here or bring both hands down to the mat, to the elbows slightly bent like Chaturanga. Body weight coming forward, balancing then that right leg over the shelf created in the left upper arm. And slowly finding the float of the back leg to bring yourself to the full expression of Ekapada, Vinyasa number 1, EPK. Beautiful. Sending both legs back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to an upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, straight spine, heels grounding. Beautiful practice. Left leg lift, three-legged dog, inhale. Left knee touching the opposite elbow, exhale. Perhaps you want to try straightening out your left leg without the left foot touching the mat. Good. And then bring it back to three-legged dog. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring the knee forwards to the chest. Set the left foot down for a high lunge pose. This time on the exhale, moving to turn to face the right side of the mat. Arms extended, warrior 2. Parivrtta number 2. Good. Taking the left arm, wrap behind the body. Good. And you will try to send that left hand up your back as high as it can go. If you need to, use the right hand to facilitate the lift of the left hand. And then when you're ready, right arm will reach up and over to see if the hands can clasp together today. Take one reverse warrior movement. Inhale, lengthen to the right. Exhale, as you come down to the left, you are going to, just like what we did at the start of the class, have your elbow on the inside of the leg and have a little firmness to push that elbow forwards to create that same chicken wing stretch in the shoulder. Good. Take a few breaths. And that'll do. Release, unclasp the hands, do a normal reverse warrior position. Now the exhale, both hands down to the mat. Okay, we are moving back to our three-legged dog pose. Inhale, rising upwards again. And we are going to find that twist again. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. And as you extend your left foot, go ahead, set it down on the mat to the right. Right arm up and opening to a fallen triangle pose. Good. Those of us that feel strong and want to explore an arm balance, both hands down to the mat, elbows bent like a Chaturanga, and see if you can transition your way forwards balanced. Lifting the back foot up. Ekapada Vinyasa number 1. Beautiful. Now send both feet back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to up dog or cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Good. Let's come up on tiptoes on the inhale. Bringing knees to chest, looking forwards, exhale. Next, inhale to walk, jump, or float your way to the front of the mat. Beautiful. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale to rise up to standing, giving the arms a big, beautiful stretching. And then hands to the heart in Samastitihi. Come to a neutral standing position. Good. Balancing now on the right leg. Gently lift the left knee up to the chest and with the right hand to the hip. Use your left hand with the peace, fingers and thumb, grabbing onto the big toes. Good. Inhale to pull that left shoulder back, shoulders are squared, and your hips level and squared. Exhale, explore, carefully extending your left leg while holding on to the big toe. If this means that the knee is not able to straighten, then it is perfectly fine to keep the leg slightly bent in this position, or even maintaining a tuck. Maintaining a tuck means that you might have your hand holding your knee. Good. Now with the transition, slowly now removing the left hand support, switching to have the right hand hold the outside of the left foot. Extending the left arm back and opening the chest, opening the shoulders. Parivrtta Uddhita Hasta Padangusthasana, the revolved variation of this pose. Good. Very nice. One more transition. If you are stable, then slowly manage the swing of that left leg down and back, and then taking the left hand down to the mat, opening up to the right. Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana, revolved half moon, balancing pose. Beautiful transition, staying with the breath, and try to be as light as you can on your supporting hand. If there is any tension or tightness in your knee or the hamstring of the foundation leg, then you will keep the bottom leg slightly bent. That'll do. With both hands, come down to the mat and find the lift of your top leg. We are going into a standing split. Good. The height of the top leg and the stretching of the bottom leg. Now make a transition. The left knee tucks into the chest, and slowly as you extend the left leg forwards to the mat in front of you, bend your right knee to come down to seated. Beautiful. And we are in a perfect position to explore twisting and binding. Binding, which is now a more intense variation of your twist, using the openness we had created in our shoulders. Let's try. Place the right hand on the mat behind you to support a straight spine, and then have your left arm go past your right leg. Good. You can have the elbow to the knee, but as best as you can, you want that right knee going up as high towards the left shoulder as possible. Ensure that you maintain a very straight spine as best as you can. If your knee has reached your shoulder, explore dropping the left hand downwards to find the inward rotation of the shoulder, and see if your hand can wrap around your right leg. Beautiful. Very nice. And those of us that are not yet ready to achieve this bound position, you can just hold your outer hip with the left hand downwards, or just stay with the palm upwards. But if you have found this wrap of the left arm, then go ahead, take the right arm back behind you and see if you can interlace the fingers, or even you might be able to grab the right wrist. And coming to the expression of Marichiasana C, the pose we practiced in last week's essential level class. Good. Connecting with the breath and staying with the grounding of the sit bones as best as we are able to here. And here is an option for those of us that wish. We might explore Marichiasana D. So if that is your practice, then go ahead. Begin by unwrapping, untwisting first. Extend your right leg and bring the left foot into a half lotus position. Good. And again, bend your right knee. Again, bring the knee close to the body. Make sure your left knee or your half lotus knee is grounding. And start to attempt to wrap the left arm again around that leg. Very challenging. Now start to reach the right arm back and see if you can catch the wrist. If not the wrist, then the fingertips. Staying connected with the breath. And as you can see, very challenging to even maintain a seated position in this pose. Try to find a grounding then for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release slowly, take your time, no rush. Good. Unwrap the legs, but keep the legs tucked into the body, legs tucked. So that as you cross the legs and place the hands on the mat in front of you, you can gently hop your way back to plank pose, doing one vinyasa to downward facing dog. Oh boy. I did not see that coming. Okay, so from down dog pose, come up on tiptoes and the inhale. Knees to chest looking forwards, exhale. And then walk, jump or float your way back to the front. Good. Exhale, forward bending. Arms up, inhale. Samasthiti, exhale. Balanced, now on the left leg. Right knee up. Hold on to big toe, take a breath in. Ensure the squareness of the shoulders and the levelness of your hips. Exhale, extend gently but firmly. Good. Find the expression that works for your body, which could be with a bent leg. Spine vertical, not leaning forwards or back. Left and right hip equal. Good. And once you are stable in this position, explore releasing the right hand and reaching with the left. Good. And then with the next breath, expanding across your shoulders to find the full expression of the revolved variation of your hand to big toe. Again, just a reminder that you can keep the extended leg bent, or you can even work by holding on to your knee. These are ways that you can modify the practice according to what your body needs. Next, transition. Slowly swing the right leg back and then windmill the arms down so the right hand comes down to the mat and the left arm opens up to your beautiful twist. Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana. Revolved half moon balancing pose. Good. Again, create lightness on the foundation hand and create stability on the foundation leg while maintaining length from the crown of the head to the extended. Good. Both hands down, standing split. A few breaths to create length in the hamstrings and start to awaken that top leg. Exhale, right knee tucks into the chest and transition your way down to your seated position. Beautiful. From your seated pose, maintain the tuck of your left leg and use your left hand to support a straight spine on the mat behind you. Take the right arm up and over and resting the elbow against the knee or perhaps the shoulder towards the knee, as close towards the knee as you are able to maintain. Good, the length of both sides of your body. Staying here, deepening your twist with a gentle D-bridge, or take your option of dropping the right hand down to find your wrap. And if you are able to wrap your leg today, opposite arm reach back, catching the wrist or clasping the fingertips. Marichiasana C. Connect with your breathing. Good. It might be hard to maintain your breath in a bound twist. But if you focus on deepening your exhalation, it can create more space for your next inhalation. Again, take the option if you wish, explore this with your right leg in half lotus. Take the option here to find Marichiasana D, or just maintain C, any variation that suits your practice. Good. And release, untwisting gently and crossing the legs. With the hands down on the mat, make your transition back to plank pose with a Vinyasa to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, lifting that right leg up to three-legged dog, inhale. Send the knee forwards to the chest to find your lunge. Inhale, rise up from your lunge. You will twist this time. So exhale, twisting to the right. Again, as much of the shoulder going past the knee as you can, because once again, you want to explore binding, wrapping that right leg. See if the left arm can drop down and reach back. Good. If that can happen, right arm, one big beautiful circle. It can help to unlock your shoulder. Try grabbing the wrist. If not the wrist, then the fingertips. Good. So the next transition, Gaze downwards and see if the back knee can slowly come forwards, crossing that back knee under the ankle of the front leg. And then finally arriving in a seated position on the mat. Very challenging transition. Okay, so this is Ardha Matsyendrasana. You have brought yourself in the most impractical way possible to your seated twist. And if you have lost the bind, now is the time to bring it back. And of course, those of us that are not yet choosing to bind, then you are just going to have the knee past the shoulder and using the right hand on the mat, supporting a straight spine to again leverage yourself deep into the twist. Those of us that have achieved the bind, and once again, perhaps you can also, with the use of a strap, achieve this bind. Then you can take the option to explore right leg straight in this position, takes you into the seated variation of the Revolved Bird of Paradise pose. Good. Beautiful. When you're ready, another transition coming up. Slowly lower the right leg down again. And see if you can take yourself back up to a kneeling pose. And from the kneeling position, whoop, there you go. From the kneeling position, back knee lifts to find your high lunge pose again. You are challenging yourself to maintain your bound position though. And now gently step the back foot forwards to the front like a chair pose. Bring the weight to that left leg, root down to the four corners. Strong inhale lifts the body up to good, balanced standing position. Don't be too quick to extend your top leg. Stay here, gain stability, gain the strength. Good, gain your breath. Maintain strong dristi, constant focused gaze, and when everything is 100%, then explore carefully straightening the top leg to find the full expression of the Revolved Bird of Paradise pose, the pose we explored in last week's intermediate level class. Beautiful. And release gently by bringing the foot back down to the mat in chair. Unbind and bring both hands down in a forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift, looking upwards. Exhale, hold the opposite elbows with your hands and hang the body from the hips. Knees slightly bent. Body rocking gently side to side. Good. Taking a few breaths here, giving rest to your spine. Beautiful. And then when you're ready to move again, one vertebrae at a time, back to a standing position. Take your time, no rush. And perhaps it feels nice at this point of the practice if you did a gentle standing back bend. Good. And come back in a forward bend. Exhale. Do a halfway lift. Inhale. Walk, jump or float back. Exhale, doing a Vinyasa or downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, lifting up your left leg to a three-legged dog. Inhale. Good. Simply send the knee to the chest on the exhale, and from your tuck, set the foot down on the mat in front of you. Rise to a high lunge on the inhale and twisting to the left on the exhale to find your bound twist. With the option of just with the prayer hand position or using a strap to connect. But if you are able to wrap your leg, then take the left arm back in one big beautiful circle, interlacing the fingers or just holding on to that left wrist. Good. And your next transition is to lower the back knee down, sliding it forwards, crossing the front ankle. This takes you down to a seated pose. Ardha Matsyendrasana, and it is usually the simplest transitions that are the most complex. Okay, so staying in your bound twist. Beautiful. In Ardha Matsyendrasana, the pose we practice in basic level class, we want the grounding of both our sit bones as best as we can, and even as we are binding, we try our best to maintain that lengthening of the body. And once again, a reminder that the breath has to continue. If you feel any feelings of congestion, difficulty breathing, focus on your exhalation. Now take the option of lifting that leg to extend it for a seated variation of the Bird of Paradise. Good, the revolved or the twisted variation. And that'll do. Why do it from seated when you can do it from standing? Slowly, slowly move the body weight forward. Come back up to your kneeling position. Try and challenge yourself to maintain your bind. If not, unbind and just move your weight back slowly. Lift your back knee up, high lunge pose. Good. Step the back foot forwards gently like a chair pose. Bring the body weight to the right leg. Deep inhalation, connect with the breath to keep the bandhas active. Inhale, lift up gently. Take your time. Find the foundation of the bottom leg. Find the broadness in the chest. Find the length in both sides of the body. Find your strong, regulated breath. Find your beautiful, stable gaze. When everything is in place, then and only then extend your left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down slowly the same way we came up, developing the negative. Unwrap, unbind, hold the opposite elbows, hang the body from the hips. Great job. Beautiful practice, Raphael. Good, and when you're ready with the hands on the mat, slowly you can lower yourself down to seated. And from your seated position, go ahead, lie flat on the mat. Continuing to rest the body, lying face up in a supine position. Good, now bend your knees, walk the feet in close to your hips. Arms down your sides and then walking the feet inwards until you are just able to hold or touch the heels of the feet with the hands. Ensure that the feet and knees are no wider than the distance of your hips in this position. And then from here a bridge pose. But let's take our time entering this pose and connect with the breathing. So just lifting the arms upwards on the inhale, arms up. Beautiful, and then arms coming down on the exhale. If you have lost your ujjayi, bring it back. Inhale, regulating the breath. And exhale, arms down. Good. As you breathe, so we move. Inhale as you lift the arms up. Also start to lift your hips up. Exhale, hips come down and arms come down gently. Beautiful. Like this. Inhale up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, arms down, hips down. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Last one, inhale, take your biggest, deepest, longest breath. Strong legs to lift the hips up are also from legs that hugs inwards towards each other. Exhale, keep the height of the hips. Lower the arms down and clasp your hands together behind the body. Interlace fingers, and as you squeeze the elbows and shoulder blades together, you are trying now to tuck the shoulder blades underneath the chest. Good, then find the height of the chest by trying to lead it upwards towards your chin. Finding a distributed back bend in Setu Bandha Sarabhangasana, entering a bridge pose. Good. Exhale, slowly come down. And with the knees to the chest, hold the knees with your hands. Take a few moments here, releasing tension in the lower back. And that'll do. Let's do a gentle inversion here. So, legs in the air. Good. Viparita Karani, gentle inversion posture. Take the option of keeping the knees slightly bent and supporting with the hands underneath the hips for those of us that feel that this pose is a little bit unsustainable to maintain. And then you have the option here, if you feel like entering Halasana, plow pose, is achieved by carefully rocking the hips up and over your shoulders, touching the toes to the mat behind you. Maintain a healthy lengthening of your spine And like a bridge pose, you might be clasping the hands together underneath the body and bringing the shoulder blades together underneath your chest, so that you find a safe and healthy foundation in the shoulders and triceps, and that you are not putting too much weight on the back of the neck. Always looking upwards in this pose, avoid the head turning left or right. If you feel nice and okay to enter the full expression of Sarvangasana, then perhaps with the back supported with your hands, one leg lifts at a time or both legs together. Inhale to lengthen upwards. Good. And as we maintain this shoulder stand, mindful to hug the legs inwards towards each other as you extend through the entire body upwards towards the ceiling, reaching upwards through your toes. That'll do, one vertebrae at a time. Send the body back down to the mat again. Mindful that you do not drop your hips. Upper back, middle back, lower back. As you move the legs down, one final happy baby posture. Holding then the outside of the feet with the hands, separating the knees, keeping feet and knees wide apart. Keep your tailbone on the mat so the spine is still straight and rounding. And gently you might start to introduce a very, very small side to side rocking motion. Good. Signaling a relaxation response in your body. Slowly lowering the legs down to find corpse pose on the mat, Shavasana. Arms and legs spread comfortably wide with the toes outwards, heels inwards, palms facing upwards and eyes gently closing. Thank you very much for joining this sequence. Thank you for flowing with us today. Keep practicing with joy in your body and peace in the heart. And until next week, Namaste.